Cut this. Cut that's us. That's us. Cut this. And what were you getting for your lambs last year? Go and tell us.
Oh, I can't just remember.
He's embarrassed.
You'll remember.
He's embarrassed to say. You actually
No,
really well.
it's good, really
It's
good.
good because I thought you'd be really hard to understand.
And I thought you would drop into your accent.
Yeah, but he's making me speak posh because he's speaking posh.
Yeah, it's your both.
The first time he dipped the sheep, the ticks were coming down the size of marbles back down into the dipper. Say that again.
Je suis désolé.
French.
Yes.
I've been Cammy,
I've been Iona.
and we are all fed,
Fed
by
by
farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We are back with another interview this week with the great William Welsh, Billy Welsh, as he's known locally here. Billy Welsh as he's known everywhere, to be fair. And we just talk about his life, how he became a shepherd's son, and he's now farming in his own right on tenanted and contract farms, not in Ayrshire. Okay, no. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that is, isn't
Oh, is
it?
it Dumfries and Galloway?
Oh, good question. Right on the boundary, anyway.
Oh,
We'll get
do you
into
know
that.
what I wonder? I always thought it was Beach Lochdoon. Is that they have different farm?
That's one of his farms.
Right, okay.
That's the contracted farm that he's going to talk about in
It's beautiful
Lachar.
down there.
Very nice. And Lachar is the tenanted farm that he talks about. Before we do that, what do we need to do, Iona?
We need to thank our sponsors.
Yes, which are?
Crystalyx and Tracesure by Animax.
Yeah, thank you both to Crystalyx. We have our extra high energy in the studio here. Those blocks are actually full. They're actually mine. And I'm running out, so I might need to take them soon.
We bring it. Oh no, your old ones will be all dirty.
Well, they like them clean. They'll be fine. I'll bring in some empty ones. They're actually full, so I do actually need to take them. Yeah, I was thinking the other day
Handy.
I'm running short. Although, shout out to Graham from Crystalyx. He did drop me a text the other day just to ask what my supplies were like if I needed some more Crystalyx.
So what, do you just get unlimited blocks?
Not unlimited.
Right,
Not unlimited.
okay.
A respectable amount he sends me.
That's great.
Very good. Like, and Crystalyx were the first people to come on board with the sheep game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always give them a shout out. They were in really early and have supported me now for 5-6 years.
Wow.
Amazing. And like when things are tight, like things like that make a huge difference to your
God,
family
yeah.
business. Like a huge difference. Because let's not kid on, it's dear stuff.
How much is it for one of them?
I don't know.
Never
Embarrassed
had to buy
say.
one?
Well, you'd buy it as a pallet. Most people with a lot of sheep would buy it as a pallet.
Yeah.
So I think it's £1,200 a tonne or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Speak to your local Casbellington or Taff Valley or whoever you use for prices. but the thing with Crystalyx as well, it's the only one made that way. You know,
Yep.
it's not all blocks are the same.
Yep.
You know, it's the only one that's got the patent. It's the lowest moisture. That's why it's rock solid and the best. And the bolus.
Oh,
We've spoken about
God,
that.
we love the
Does
bolus.
your dad bolus? Have I asked you that?
No.
No, I think that's amazing. Yeah, it doesn't bolus. It's incredible. Don't need it. Or the cobalt for all the coal bings and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that, all
Oh,
the
yeah.
minerals in the soil up there at Chris Flat. So will we do this interview, then we can blather a bit at the end?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, here is Billy Welsh. Oh, before I do it, before you slot him in, I just want to say to all the people that watched the quiz one, I accept I only got 9 right.
I know, it was a landslide.
What I should have
It was a
done,
landslide,
if I could have
Danny.
seen the clock, I'd have waited and listened to the last question rather than just having a guess at it in the hope that I would get 11.
The true or false one.
Yeah, because in the end, I ended up with 9 when I was actually shooting for 11. But that's sport for you.
You overshot.
That's sport. You take a risk. Here's Billy. And we're joined by Billy Welsh this week. Do it introduce you as Billy Welsh or William Welsh?
Billy.
Billy. Come from a long line of Billys and Williams and Johns.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Is it a William? Wait, are you William?
I'm William, aye. William, aye.
You're William, but you've got is it a cousin that's a William as well? Or
Yeah.
you've got,
Cousin William, son William, I had an uncle William. There's a lot of William Wilson.
Are they all called Billy as well?
No.
Are they
No,
William?
That's
I'm the only Billy.
he's Billy to make it easier to.
Oh,
So
okay.
the other Ian's
Yeah.
Willie, then you've got Jock, and you've got John, and you had Father Jock. So it's like John and William is pretty much just the names. Is that
That's
right?
it, aye.
Aye.
That's it, basically. If you're a Welsh, you're a John or a William, basically.
Aye.
There's an audience.
There's a Glenn.
There's
There's a Glenn and a Fraser.
Oh, and a Fraser. Aye.
Brother
aye.
Fraser, aye.
Yeah. There we go.
So-
Well, you've got to mix up a bit.
Oh.
God, it gets a bit.
Definitely.
So Billy, great to have you here. Just an ordinary working man.
Yep.
here to tell your story.
It's great to be here, I think.
I had to twist your arm. I had to twist his arm a wee bit.
Did you?
Well, he was thinking, like, what's he going to talk about? But he's got plenty to
loads
talk
to
about.
talk about.
Plenty to talk about. But I think, like, we're bad for this podcast. We jump in halfway through
Yeah.
things. So just tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Billy Welsh, and I'm a tenant farmer, and I'm also a contract farmer. I was a shepherd for years, but we were lucky enough to get the step into a tenancy and a contract farm.
And what kind of numbers are you running in acres you're covering? Give us some numbers.
We've got, our tenant farm is about 1,200 acres, and the contract farm is 4,000 acres.
Oh, wow.
A few acres then.
A few acres.
Yeah.
Few acres.
That'll be quite hilly bits.
Yeah, they're basically hill farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the breed of choice there?
Well, the contract farm it's 90% pure blackies,
Yep.
black-faced sheep. We cross, as you know, some of the blackies, as you're good enough to buy our mule yow lambs.
Yes.
And we also run 100 to 150 mule yows as well on the contract farm. And in the tenant farm, we're actually, Iona's going to throw daggers at me here. We're actually in the process of converting them for the blackies to achieve it.
Cut this. That's us. That's us. Cut this. Aye. Thanks for coming in, Billy. Fantastic. Yeah.
No.
Join us next week where we'll be speaking to someone else from your Kirk for balance. So moving from the blackie to Cheviot.
Yes,
Why is that?
because we can't accommodate to finish all the hill lambs. We keep all our black-faced lambs and finish them through the winter. We have great winterns through Ayrshire, working with great people. And
Right, don't suck up, right?
uh,
I suck up to my Winton guys anyway as well.
We're so lucky we've got loads of them, and they're all great people to work with. And so we finish all our black-faced weather lambs, and we needed a lamb coming off the hill that we could sell store. So I mean, we're working 10 to 20 pounds a difference in the white-headed lamb in a store.
Yeah.
People just don't want the blackie before New Year.
No, and you're probably onto something there. Like, I think the guys like yourself that have the pure blackies and they have the scope to finish them themselves turn a great return.
Yeah.
Because, and we'll go on to what you made for your lambs last year, but if you're breeding to sell store, the blackie's probably not. Fine if you're pulling out the great tup lambs and your great yows and it's all about the females
Stop,
and you're not bothered about your weather lamb. But when it's a very commercial kind of thing and it's all about the price you get for your lambs,
Yeah.
that's where the blackie, if you have to sell them store, you're going to struggle. But like you last year, for example, I think you told me when we were doing a bit of scanning and you told me you had, I think I was scanning for you in March or certainly late February,
Yeah.
and you told me you hadn't sold a lamb yet.
That was right. Yeah, we don't start into March.
Yeah.
We don't. We get our winterns right to the 1st of April,
That's brilliant.
which is ideal. I mean,
And rarer
yeah,
these days.
and that's what I mean. We're so lucky with the folk we're working with.
Yep.
And that the black-faced weather lamb is a fantastic product come that time of year. And don't get me wrong, I honestly do believe that the people that's picking up the store, like the blackie store lamb in the back end of the year, they're bound to be making money off them for what they're getting them at.
Definitely. And it does just literally just seem to be that despite the fact there's money there to be made, they just don't seem to want to buy them.
No.
Like,
Why not?
I think they want a lamb they can finish in the back end of the year. They want your Texel and your big mule lamb and lambs like that, and they want to get them finished and get them away. They're wanting two crops of fat lambs. Then they'll take the hill lambs and finish them in March and April.
Aye, they'll pick up. Yeah, they don't want to buy them early. Like you say, they don't want to buy them before Christmas. No, I mean the horn's a big factor too. I think, but I think that's changing a wee bit. Folk were always worried about the horn. For a while there, I think they were fair tight at the horn. Was
there definitely was a maintenance issue.
Yeah, and like these guys don't want to be running about cutting horns and dealing with all that. They want to just kick these lambs out or whatever they're doing, run them in the shed. But like, your thing, I mean, it's a fantastic product because if you're not selling a lamb to March, you've lambed at end of April, May. That's a slow mature, it's slowly growing just off of the grass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a
Yeah, it's not
fantastic,
been pushed.
not been pushed at all. There's been no concentrate feed in it. It's coming to that market at, by that time they're probably 45, 46 kilos.
Yeah.
Best of gear.
Yeah.
Best of gear. And what were you getting for your lambs last year? Go and tell us.
Oh, I can't just remember off the top
He's
of my head.
embarrassed.
You'll remember.
He's embarrassed to say. But did you not get up near £200 for some of your lambs?
Well, they were well up there, aye. They weren't just quite £200, but they were
180?
good trade, aye.
Aye.
Some of them were 180.
180 for a blackie
Yeah,
weather.
it's unbelievable.
But that is where it wins, because if you can get the wintern for them,
Yeah.
like you're saying, and keep them through, the blackie is still a great thing to be in.
Yeah.
And as you say, there must be store guys buying them at 70 quid as they are now or whatever. Like, if you can hold them through to April, if you have scope to do that, like,
Yeah.
some margin. A lot more margin than buying a Texel at 120 or 110,
Exactly.
say.
I mean, it's there's definitely our blackie. 90% of our blackie lambs are no born to the last week in April.
Yeah.
We start the hill lambing starts last week in April, beginning of May.
Right.
So just simply because we're keeping them that length of time, and it lets us lamb down. It lets us lamb down the early ewes, as we like to talk about the stud blackies and the mule ewes and the crossing ewes, but the hill lambs are quite a lot of them no born to me.
And you do a bit of the stud blackie job, so that's for anyone wondering, that's like your fancy kind of blackies like Iona's dad would be doing at Lanark the other week with fancy tups and stuff like that. You do a bit of that as well? Sell some tups?
It was selling an odd tup or two, yeah.
How'd you go in this year?
Quite well. Quite well, yeah. We were sharing in the air, sold him to Elmscliffe.
Big name.
Let's see.
I think it was Elmscliffe bought one of your dad's tups as well. Yeah.
No, we've been quite lucky at the tup job. We've sold quite a few. We've sold to Crystalyx. Sold a Sharon to Crystalyx.
Oh, so that's the secret. Get you buying for Billy. That's it. I knew Elmscliffe must have realised that, and that's how they've came down. Aye. They'll all be after you next year after they hear this podcast.
That's actually my fourth tup I've sold to Elmscliffe.
Is that right? There we go. Return custom.
Regular buyer.
But
Elmscliffe.
Put that in your LinkedIn profile. So how do you go from, you said you were a shepherd originally, like what is your background, like if we
Right back.
Yeah, let's go right back. Like
Right back.
Where are you actually from?
born?
Where's that accent from? You're speaking quite posh today, right enough, but where is the accent from? Yeah, you're actually
No,
really well.
it's
'cause
good, really
It's
good.
good because I thought you'd be really hard to
And
understand.
I thought you would drop into your accent.
Yeah, but he's making me speak posh because he's speaking posh.
Yeah, it's
I
your
know.
both.
My grandpa Welsh would actually, he was a farmer down at Cretan.
What's that?
Cretan down...
Dumfries.
No, Gatehouse and round about the places. Down between Newton Stewart.
Galloway? Aye.
Yeah. They were home at Cretan. But it was a great big family. So, and obviously they came out of the farm, there's too many sons, and they all went into shepherding.
Right, okay.
So my grandpa...
What do you mean they come out the farm, sorry? Like they just... Did
Yeah,
not
my
get passed on to
grandpa-
anyone?
No, my grandpa had... he'd get injured in the war,
Right,
and it was to do with his lungs,
right, okay.
and they weren't fit. So the sons all moved away and into shepherding jobs. And
So like your dad and your uncles.
yes,
Right.
they were all shepherds. They were
All shepherds?
All shepherds.
How many were there?
Well, one went to Australia. He didn't. He emigrated to Australia. There was a lot.
Was there?
There was Uncle Anton, Robbie's grandpa, Robbie Welsh's grandpa. There was Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Wally. Who have I missed it?
Must have been Uncle John.
No,
No, Uncle John's.
no. Who have I missed it there? Uncle George in Australia, Uncle Andy, and my dad.
Wait, and no lassies?
Oh, aye. There was lassies too.
It's a big family.
But then there is. I saw some stats like the family size used to be like 6, or 7 used to be that, or I think 6 used to be like the average family size back not that long ago.
Aye.
Really?
Like I used to be a big family. Like, I think my dad's one of. Tell me get this wrong. He's at least one of 6.
Wow.
Yeah, one of 6. I think my dad is. Yeah, and I think it just was.
I was running through them. It was Auntie Natty, Auntie Margaret, Auntie Agnes, and Auntie Babs.
Okay, so
10 of them?
Is that 10?
10?
Fair
It
effort.
was a big family.
No, fair effort.
I feel as if I've missed
Nothing else to
somebody
do.
out.
Hey, doing your gallery, what else are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? There's no offence to our new gallery fans. But, right, okay, big family of 10, all went on to be shepherds. And obviously your father was Jock,
Yeah.
Welsh, very well known, certainly in these parts, and especially in the sheepdog world.
Yeah.
You know, just to touch on an interesting wee anecdote, actually, our boy's called Jock, more or less, well, basically because your dad was called Jock and he was such a bloody legend and it's a great name and all that. So, like, we just thought,
Yeah.
great name for him. So that's where the inspiration for that came from. He obviously, Jock, is people that don't know him, he passed away like 2 years ago now, is it? Or
It'll be 2 years come January.
2 years, mad how the time flies by.
I know.
But he obviously had a shepherding job somewhere and you were brought up in the farm with him.
Yeah, we were always out helping.
Yeah.
Where was that, Billy?
We started, I was born at Knockiecoid,
Right,
which was quite a big top place at the time.
right.
It's Knockiecoid and Charmery now.
Oh,
They're both
aye.
together.
Yeah.
Knockiecoid, that's where I was born. And then Dad was at Knockiecoid twice, actually. We went back to Knockiecoid. We were brought up, basically, at Knockiecoid and Darnamouth, where he was a shepherd. But every time, it seemed to be, they planted trees.
Even back then, I mean,
Oh, aye. My dad, I think he had 3 or 4 shifts where it was,
Really?
he was advised, Ken, that within a couple of years it was getting planted.
right? Even back, this is what, back in the 70s or? Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Well.
And this would be, was this rich landowners that owned these places that your
It was
dad was
estates,
herding at?
basically. It was
Aye,
estates.
Yeah.
Well, I was born at Knockiecoid, which is now planted. The most 90% I think is planted. We then moved to Eldrick, which is all planted now. We moved back to Darnamouth at Eldrick, which belonged to Knockiecoid, well, it was rented by Knockiecoid. It's now planted. We then moved to Cairnryan when I remember Dad getting told that they were going to plant, the estate was going to plant Darnamouth. We moved to Cairnryan, and I think we were 7 years there, and he got told that it was getting planted. Oh my goodness. And then, by this time, I was left home, and they moved up to Straighton. And
Where were you at that point? Where did you move to?
they moved to Largs. Craig has it. Craig of Straighton has it now, the Largs.
Right.
And he was unlucky again because Mr. Muffet actually passed away when he was there. And the paintings that Craig bought, the Largs. And then, by that time, Dad had moved in. There was an Irishman had approached him, wanted to buy a farm here, and would he manage it? So they moved into Kilwanalet. The Irishman bought Kilwanalet Ballantrae, and that's where he was still running it when he retired.
Aye. A lot of moving about.
Yeah.
Aye.
And where did you go when did you go to the Craig?
No.
because where did you go?
I was left home by that time. I was left home and was working.
Oh, right, okay.
I was working by then, and I was never at home at Straighton.
Right,
The last place was the Cairnryan.
Right, okay.
I left home there.
right.
And just took a shepherding job, same as your father?
No, I actually did. Well, I did start at I actually was in the breaking of that Royal when it came into Cairnryan. I worked in it for a short
What's
period
that, a
of time.
boat?
The aircraft carrier.
Oh, right, okay.
When she
But
came
stripping it down?
when she came into the breaker's yard at Cairnryan, I worked in it for a wee while. And then
But just like, labour, just...
labouring. I was
aye.
labouring to the burners
Aye.
that was cutting her up. And then I got a shepherding job, and then I met Helen.
How did you meet?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I was actually going with her pal, and she was going with mine at the time.
Just thought...
How all great
fancy-
love stories
Aye.
And then I actually went and I milked cows for 4 years.
Is that right? Aye.
Aye.
Having never milked or worked in a dairy before?
No,
Right.
I went and milked cows. I think it was 3 or 4 years
Where was that at?
at Stonykirk at Snra,
Okay.
because Helen was from Sanhead. So, and our John was born when we were there. And no, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Milking cows?
I did that.
Right.
I did, and I was quite open to trying anything. And we were going to get married at the time, and it was far more money shepherding.
Was it?
Were you actually a dairyman?
No,
No, you were just the
I was
general farm worker.
I was milking the cows with the boss and I kind of take weekend about, and it was a great. When you think back, it was a great learning curve.
Yeah.
You know, and I had got on great with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that'd be like a pretty standard tied house. So a house for the job, and aye.
Yeah, a bit of security.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great thing. Like your father, moving about all those jobs, everyone would come with a house.
Yeah.
You're moving a lot,
Yeah.
but all right, there's not security because you keep getting planted and all that. But there's the other side of it that you don't have the panic of worrying about your mortgage. Like
That's true, like an ad.
well, your house is your house.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros and cons to the tied house thing, of course there is. But like one of them is the fact that if it goes like that and the landlord's putting you the farm owner is selling up the sheep or whatever, the house is tied to that job you've got there, so that it's not just going to be you're left with no mortgage to pay because they've paid you off or whatever. You can't afford to pay the mortgage. It's all linked.
Yep.
And that is one of the kind of benefits of it. And that would be the same with the dairy job then.
It was just exactly the same, and our John was born there, and then of course an opportunity came up to go and work with Glenn up at East Kilbride, our brother Glenn, and as you do when you're young, the money was better, and you move, and then
So what was the setup there, Billy?
the setup there was that it was a farm in the outskirts of East Kilbride, and it was a construction company had bought it.
Right.
Which, as you get older, you realise why
Yes.
they had bought it.
Yes.
But it was
Why?
Temporary. They don't want to actually farm it, do they?
No, it was there was a landfill in it,
Aye.
Oh, okay.
and there was 3 big hen houses on it, and I think there was something like 30,000 hens on it, and I can't even mind the figures, but there was no sheep on it, but
Right.
we put the sheep on, and maybe 100 cows. I can't even mind exactly. So Glenn and I run these hens and the other side of the farm. We didn't get bothered much as long as we kept pushing stuff into the landfill. Then the landfill got full and it was time to move on. They put it up for sale.
Is that right? Felt it, covered it over, and sold the place. Is that right?
Basically, that was it. Yeah.
Wow.
And
A lot of that going on, to be fair. Not so much now, but
I don't get it. Why do they want the landfill full?
because it costs them a fortune to just get rid of stuff. So if
Yeah.
you own a farm, you just put it in a hole and
So
cover it
oh
up.
right,
the
so
landfill was actually on the farm.
so the construction company buys it, literally just get rid of their rubbish.
Aye, just as it's making money. I'd imagine if there's hens on it, it'll be making money as well. I would think.
It was.
Maybe not so much back in the days, but
No, I don't know if that was the issue. I think it was the money they were saving.
aye,
in
that's
the
a-
landfill.
Aye, aye.
Right, okay.
But
I had no idea.
I
that
don't
sort
think
of
they're,
stuff went on.
they're pretty strict on all that stuff now. I don't think there's as much as that. But I know a farm like near here that takes stuff in for like has a, but that's all licensed. Like, but they make good money just taking rubble.
And are you allowed to just put that down there?
Well, you have to get a license for it,
Right.
like
Yeah.
SEPA. I think you need a SEPA license or something for it now.
make sure
But
it's not gonna
and
fall
it's all
down.
just hard standing. It's not like chemicals or anything.
No.
Well, back in those days, ask no questions, tell no lies type thing. I think it would be, but nowadays, there's a lot of farms I think will do it, and they'll just take a set fee per load, and they just throw it in a big. If you have a big old quarry, a lot of farms are old quarries and bits to fill.
We've got them on the hill.
Aye, there you go. Like one, your
I
problem
could
is
get a side hustle there.
well, your biggest problem is you're not that far from the 74. Your biggest problem is just that you're far away from a lot of construction work.
Yeah, this was
true.
in the outskirts of Glasgow, basically.
Aye, handy.
East Kilbride couldn't. I mean, there's a good chance there's houses around that place. Houses everywhere in East Kilbride now. Like the amount of, how many farmers have sold bits of land
land.
and have moved down to Ayrshire or
East
or
Kilbride,
abouts?
yeah. Because they're saying basically East Kilbride and Straven are eventually going to just join.
Is that right? Well, it's
Because
just
both
prime.
are both
Yeah.
just developing so
Right,
much.
it's right next door to Glasgow.
I know.
Look, it's prime Newton Mearns. Another one. All the farms are in Newton Mearns. Like
Mm-hmm.
huge money. Like because they don't just put wee houses in Newton Mearns.
Aye,
They're all-
they're fans.
Aye, they're all 5-bed plus.
Oh,
like,
aye.
mansions. Like so, it's big money. So I did that for a bit.
How did you find the hens?
They're just in the big shed. Quite easy. Stop! I can't help myself. Sorry.
And you opened the door there. Listen. No, the hens were fine. And then the hens were actually fine because I done the early shift at the hens.
Right.
Well, I'm a kind of early bird anyway, so it was quite easy for me.
Great pun.
Aye.
Unintended.
But then legislation, I think we were maybe there 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And legislation came in about the hens and of course the construction firm really wasn't interested in the
Dealing
hens.
with that,
No.
yeah.
So they just basically knocked the hen sheds
Is this
down.
layers like? I think it's layers.
Mm-hmm.
Aye. And they just knocked the hen sheds down?
Aye, just when the last batch of hens went away, the hen sheds went down.
Right.
They were
And they build things out, all wooden types?
the wooden type.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. At the end of their life anyway.
I think we converted them into a sheep shed. But it was kind of close, it was kind of muggy.
Aye, low ceilings.
We took the sides out it and that, but nah, it was kind of, didn't just suit.
Aye.
Reduce the risk of fly strike and livestock irritation at grass with Crystalyx garlics. Flies and midges are a constant pest to livestock throughout the summer and are responsible for diseases such as summer mastitis, pink eye, blue tongue and Schmallenberg. No repellent is 100% effective in the fight against airborne biting insects. However, Crystalyx garlics can play an important part in reducing the number of flies that land on livestock. Containing concentrated garlic extract, 5 times more potent than pure dried garlic, Crystalyx garlics offers a natural defense to biting insects, with the high sulfur compounds in garlic acting as a natural insect repellent. With a full complement of vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx garlics balances the known deficiencies in forage while stimulating the rumen for enhanced animal performance. Make the switch this summer to research-proven Crystalyx garlics.
So you were there for 5 or 6 years, and then what was the next step?
Our Wally was born actually when we were up at East Kilbride. And then we moved down to Cossack, to a shepherding job at Cossack. Well, it was actually more as a shepherding job. It was, there was 1,200 ewes and 180 cows.
Right.
I was working with probably the guy that was most influence on me, but excluding me and Dad, obviously. But I worked there with a guy called Ian Cowan. He was the head man at that place. Well, what a guy!
Is that right? Good stockman.
Oh, fantastic! His dad was a bus driver.
Right.
No way.
His dad died when Ian was young, and Ian decided he wanted to be a shepherd.
Out of no farming connection.
Seemingly, aye, as far as I know.
Yeah.
What a fantastic guy he was to work with. When he had went there, I think the place was just all white grass, blow grass. I think there was about 15 or 20 Dungalloway cows roaming about, no fences. And I don't know how many ewes there was, but they were running all over the place. And he told me that the first time he dipped a sheep, the ticks were coming down the size of marbles back down into the dipper. And he had been there and he built, well, obviously he had a boss, but between them, he had built that place up for that number of cows and the sheep like that. It was either 180 or 190 beef cows and 1,200 cows.
That's crazy.
And he'd been there the whole time. But he had the greatest knack for a man of that age. And I think it was because he came from a background that was maybe wasn't to deal with the farming.
Yep.
He could always move. He could always move with the times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh perspective. He
Yes.
hadn't learnt bad habits. He wasn't stuck in his ways.
He hadn't this drummed into him that this is the way things need to.
definitely.
He could move forward all the time, and he was a step. He seemed to be a step in front, and he had the place. You never thought there was a coup on the place.
Aye.
Never a mart in the ground, and there was 180, 190 cows running about with calves.
Yeah.
You probably do see that in farming a bit. That people with similar stories like that are more open to taking on new ideas and doing something different.
Yeah.
That's where I think the things like monitor farms and things, these are such good initiatives because it's sort of encouraging people to, try different things and new ideas as well, because it's so easy with farming just to carry on the way that it's
We've
done.
always been, but the tricky thing is, like, and you'll be able to, you'll all know what this is like as well, but if your father says something is the way it is, then that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Because, like, you know, we're on the same boat here where like we idolise their fathers. So it's like if your father says that's your father, I'm saying if your dad says that's the way something is, that's the way something is. You don't go and look for a second opinion. You know, you don't challenge it and say, well, maybe. I mean, sometimes you might do, but generally speaking, you say, right, okay, that's fine, and then you start saying, as you get older, you start saying that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's where we get this thing where it's been that way.
That's the way it is, and that's the way it was.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But actually,
Yeah.
in terms of, especially animal health and all these things, you know, simple things like procedures for fluke dosing and worming, and everything's changing all the time as the science changes. Like it all changes so fast. Some of the old traditional things will always be, of course they will, but times change so quick. And, you know, at one point you get this triclobenzol dose for fluke that kills it down to 2 days. Well, dose them like hell like that all winter. Like, why would you use anything else? Then all of a sudden, well, that's not working anymore because we've hammered it, you know, and we've ruined this great product. So what we're going to do now? You've got to just change all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's and that is what holds up. Whereas these folk that maybe don't have that person, that they have the sentimental attachment to believe like God, they'll change it. They can flip and flop and go with somebody different. Oh, well, he said that, but which is good. But I like what he's saying as well. And they just
very, very strong,
very progressive,
very strong guy. He wasn't a big guy, but strong in the head, strong in the determined. Determined, and he believed in what he was doing, and he could move with it. It was something I'd never really seen before. Somebody that at that age group, that was so right up to the.
And what sort of age were you at this point, Billy?
I would go there when I was in my 30s.
Right.
Like, what age are you?
60 next year.
Aye, okay, you're older than I
good
thought.
for it.
Yeah, aye. Well, all right. Well, he gave up the hard work about 20 years ago. So an easy living there on. We're getting to that bit, the easy living bit. As soon as the boys were old enough to do a bit of graph.
And that's when we went out on our own, when the boys left the school.
Is that right? So you were was it you working there when you went out on your own?
No.
Did you have another job since that?
No, actually, it was the lure of the Blackies. Really? Took me to... It was Blackie Yow's at where I was with Ian, but next door had pure Blackies.
Right.
And it came up, the job came up next door. And I remember one day we were sitting up in what we called the lime field, up where we marked the lambs. And we were looking across at the place. And I'd been offered the job as the shepherd in this place. And we were sitting, the two, Ian and I, sat on this rock in our piece. And the sun was shining, hitting right across Lochar. And he turns to me and he says, "Don't you turn that job down for the sake of staying with me." Because he had only so many years to go to retired.
Aye.
He says, "Because look at that." He says, "The sun now shines in Lochar."
Aye. There we go.
And I took the job, and I think he retired maybe the couple of years later.
Right.
Is he still with us? Or is he?
No.
No, right. Okay.
You maybe know his grandson,
Go on.
Ian Houston.
Yeah.
I know that name.
Ian Cowan was Ian Houston's grandpa.
Okay. I don't know him, but...
Yeah. And Lochar, you mentioned that name, Lochar. You're still at Lochar
We know how the
all
tendency
these
of
years
Lochar.
later. Yeah. So you started there as a shepherd.
I started at Lochar as a shepherd, and we'll be forever grateful to the Kennedy Moffats for giving us the opportunity.
And what kind of tenancy is that there?
It's 5 years,
rolls 5 years.
Rolls 5 years, but we actually got the rent of the farm next door to Lochar first.
Right, okay.
Because the Kennedy Moffats were offered it, and for circumstances that we'll not go into, there was 2 or 3 years at Lochar where I was on my own because there was illness in the family, and I just run the place. And when the wee bit come up next door, the Kennedy Moffats was offered it for rent, and the Kennedy Moffats turned around and offered me it as a goodwill gesture if I wanted to take it. So that's how we got started.
Right, okay. Aye, with your own piece?
Yeah, I was still shepherding. I was still running Lochar and shepherding at Lochar, and Helen and I bought the stocky house next door, which was only about 320 hours at the time, but my God.
Terrifying.
It was a big step.
Yeah.
Especially on a shepherd's wage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a big step. And And who was
And how
it?
did you finance it?
Well, we had to borrow the money at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We borrowed the money to buy the stock.
Through the markets or through the bank or
No,
family?
there was 2 or 3 reasons we borrowed the money. To educate the boys, basically.
Aye, okay, yeah.
Which is
Bad debt, yeah.
aye, which wasn't a lie.
Mm-hmm.
We were educated. Wally left the school, and he shipped.
Oh, that's what the loan was for, sorry.
Aye.
I thought you meant a bit of debt was to teach them about, right, okay, aye. The loan wasn't for sheep. Aye, I like that. I've done that too. I told this story in this before. I borrowed 15 grand one time to pay grass rents, and I think I told them it was for a house renovation or something.
Did you? You've not said that on here.
I did remember I said it to me 5 years. I would take the money, this old farming thing, I'll borrow the money, pay my rents. When I sell my lambs, I'll pay the loan off in a year. 5 years later, only like maybe 2 Februaries ago, I finished paying it off. I paid £200 a month for 5 years because I'm like, I'll pay it off, but then what happens is you get another bit of ground, so you need more sheep.
Aye.
So it's like, just keep that loan ticking. I'll use the money from those lambs to buy more. So that was my thing. I said it was for. I think I
Because
said
the bank wouldn't lend money for sheep.
it's just
It'd be
easier.
tricky.
It was just easier to say it was for bloody home renovations.
It was
Right,
because
okay.
Our bank at the time wasn't interested in agriculture.
Right, okay.
Our bank was not interested in agriculture, so we had to go down a different route of getting the money, and we weren't really telling any lies. It was for the education of the boys.
Is this the homeschool like or just,
No, it was for further education.
Right, okay.
They needed somewhere to stay and that.
Aye,
So
right. I'm
We
making
had
the
to
whole
borrow-
bigger for you. Just aye.
we had
I
to
get the
borrow.
picture. You don't even know what you said. Like, aye, it was made up on the spot.
It's in his path.
Aye,
Cammy, let it go.
It's 20 years later. It's 10, 20 years later.
It's all
Who's gonna
paid and
remember?
done, so it doesn't even
Yeah, aye, exactly.
So that was the start, and
Can you mind it what the years were back then? I mean, how many years ago? It's 15 years, 15 years or more.
It's matter. Was it 2008 maybe?
Okay, so 16 years.
Aye.
Can you mind what the years? It's quite a big thing to you. I wonder if it sticks. in your
Blackie
head.
Ewes, they were Blackie Ewes and Lamp of the Texel.
And Lamb to Texel.
Lamb to
Can you mind
Texel.
what you paid for them back then?
Oh, aye, it was something ridiculous.
Oh, expensive.
No,
Oh, aye, like yeah,
in Lamb there was something like £28,
£28.
something like that.
Aye.
I think it was in about there.
Yeah, but it was I suppose it's a big package thing and easy for the owner because it's just no
Everything
sheep to shift or
altogether.
nothing to do. Yeah, £28.
I think it was in about there. I can't mind them being on a deer.
Those were the
And you
glory
also,
days.
you can't turn down that opportunity. You would do anything you could to get the money to.
I always remember they were scanned. The agreement was we would take the place, but we were only taking the ewes that was scanned in Lamb
Right. Okay.
because things were tight and we weren't want to pay for ewes that was empty.
Aye.
And I remember that first after they were scanned, and I separated the twins, and I had this all beat up Jeep. And every day after I'd fed my own twins at Lucha, I would go round in the Jeep. Wally was obviously still at the school, but I'd go round at that point, and I would go round the Jeep and I'd feed my own twins. But it was steep, rocky ground, and so it was a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. I'll never forget it. You could drive out the old road in the Jeep, and I remember Helen and I leaning in the front of the Jeep, me shouting in the ewes, and they're coming round down the brae. And I fed them, and I turned round to Helen and I says, "It's great, isn't it? They're ours."
I know.
Aye.
I'll never forget that day of saying that to her.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
They're ours.
Yeah.
Aye.
That's
it's
huge.
Such a special thing. Like I know what you mean because you've spent your whole life working for somebody else.
Aye.
And your whole upbringing is your
Yeah.
father working for somebody else's
Yeah.
sheep, and then all of a sudden you've got your own.
Something you can call your own.
Yeah.
And within 2 or 3 years? 2 or 3 and improved. We tried to improve the stock. We went pure blackie. And within 2 or 3 years we sold a tip lamb to Elmscleugh. I remember that, £1,200 to Elmscleugh.
That's a quick turnaround.
Aye, and the same day we sold another one at £1,200 to Little Larg.
And that's what got them started. That tip they bought off Billy 15 years ago.
I don't think Wally at Elmscleugh will agree with you. No, but
Say what you like on here. If you say it with confidence, it's fine.
we improved it. We bought cash ewes, Black Craig, cash ewes. Basically, we buy pen or a couple of pens of them. Maybe, yeah.
Cash cows is old ewes, like 5-year-old ewes for
5-year-old
anyone
ewes.
wondering. Yeah.
Which Black Craig was basically next door.
And you used to get them for pennies. Like even when I started in sheep, which is only 9 years ago, I bought my first sheep. And I've told this before, I got a few Texels, but then I got 40 blackies. Or 50 blackies, it might have been at Stirling for 40 quid, which was like, and they were great sheep. But you could get right, they draft blackie sales like,
Yeah, you get bargains.
oh, it was great. Stick them to a blue-faced Leicester. Brilliant.
Well, that was, I think, I might be wrong, but I think back, we bought Black Craig ewes at some like 40-something pound. The top pen or the second pen. I bought Lurg ewes. They were 40-something pound. And we just kept going.
Aye.
We just kept going, and then I remember we broke the bank. I wanted something a wee bit better. And we went to, Ian Houston and I went to the Gimmer sale at Castle Douglas. And we bought wee Sani Blackwood's Gimmers. I think they were either £200 or £210. Oh my God. Oh my.
How many of them, like?
Oh, there was only about 7. And but this time, lucky enough, our Wally had left school and had started working with Overbreed, the eye centre. So we got in there and got them flushed.
Right.
And hence that's where the lambs came from that went to Elmslie. He was flushed out of Greenside. He was a Greenside Gimmer that we had flushed.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what kind of got us started at the...
And kicked on. But it's a great story to where you are now. You obviously, you start a shepherd's son, then a shepherd, then you get your break, as we all need a bit of luck. Like, we all need a bit of luck.
Yep.
But now you're up at the numbers we talked about earlier, and you're just your own boss. You're no herding for anyone now.
No.
You've got boys herding for you.
Yeah. That's... but that's... I don't know how we got here, to be honest. It just...
Do you ever look at Young Jock and just say to Helen, we own that now? It's unbelievable, that's yours.
No.
I used to have to, me used to have to do that.
No, it's amazing how the time goes by. But you need, as you say, you need 2 or 3 breaks.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think the secret is, see if you're the right folk round about you, neighbours and friends.
Yeah.
There was sometimes that there was no money to buy tips.
Yeah.
The neighbours would help you out.
Is that right?
Really?
Oh, aye.
Things tight.
Aye, there wasn't the spare cash.
Yeah.
You would go to the tip sale and you would love this, and it's still the same nowadays, right enough. You'd love this and you'd love that.
Aye.
But it's a different level maybe now. But it's no, neighbours and friends and some of the old shepherds that was round about us, they could keep your feet in the ground.
Aye.
Bang.
Get you down to earth. Get you down to earth. Aye. and you're obviously, a lot of folk would know you, I suppose, through the dogs as well. Sheepdogs would be quite a big thing for you Welsh boys, particularly yourself, your cousin, your son, your father.
I rub it in. I'm the only one that's never won the national.
Is that right? You're the only one?
The only one.
Every family's got that embarrassing child.
My dad won the national twice. My son Wally's won it. Cousin Wally's won it. There is more than me in the Welshes that hasn't won it.
Aye.
It kind of feels it's only me.
Maybe you should do a wee bit about what it is.
Glenn's never even had a good dug. So Wee Jock was good at, who's Jock Welsh, who anyone's watched the sheep game, I've seen Jock now and again. He never won the national, but he's pretty good with the dugs when he was younger. He's been on one man and his dog, and he did a bit of TV. Represented Scotland.
He's very good
with that as well. Your father's been on, I don't know if he's on One Man and His Dog, but it was on, it was like a lunchtime show, wasn't it? That was on.
Aye, what was it called?
I'm sure we had that recorded.
Oh, you would do. Your dad absolutely would watch it. It was a really good piece, and obviously did a bit with Landward. Like your father been on TV as many times, but he won the national twice.
Farmers Country Showdown.
Farmers Country Showdown. That's right, because it was all.
It was a challenge between young Jock, me, and my dad.
That's right.
Should we say a wee bit about trialing dogs, just what that is?
Aye, what is trialing dogs?
Sheepdog trials.
Aye, have you not got any work to do?
I know. I know. It's hey, everybody needs a hobby.
Absolutely, it's a good bloody hobby
It's
to have.
I really only get back into it. When we're building up the business and that, you're tied up elsewhere, and there was a 10-year gap there that I wasn't at the trials at all much. And then when Dad took no well, I started to kind of drive him to the trials because he was trialling dogs, going to sheepdog trials right up to the end. He devoted his life to it. He was just obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And just like the blackie breeders. If you saw a dog, you had to get the breeding of the dog if you liked it.
Yeah.
And it was never forgotten. If you saw a dog in a run, you could tell your runs for 20 years ago how good it was.
Aye.
And if the man missed a set of gates with 2 sheep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the same with the blackies. It's what you're into, and that's what Dad. Well, when I started running him about, he says to me one day, he says, "You boys, we all bringing your dog." But at that time, I didn't have a dog that was worth running. But I started taking him, and I got the bug again, and then I started putting a wee bit more time into my young dogs, and finished up with two kind of yes fiends that I can get a run out of. So I'm quite enjoying it again.
And you made the national team before?
No,
You've never made the national team?
I ain't run at many nationals, to be honest.
All right, okay. Well, you got it. Surely that's on the bucket list for you.
Oh, that's in the bucket list. But
Aye.
you maybe need to have the right dog. I don't know if I've just got the right dog for that.
I get it. I mean, it can't be that hard. Hamish Mitchell just had one go at it and made the team.
I know.
Like, so how hard can it be?
But he's always carried a lot of luck, Hamish.
He's always been lucky. I spoke to him on the phone. Did you get into international?
I was, aye.
Aye. Because I spoke to Big Hamish on the phone. He said I think he was first out on the day or something like
was.
that. Aye. Didn't quite go to plan, he says. But he kens that himself. He says it didn't go to plan, but great experience. But see, speaking to him on the phone, this is Hamish Mitchell I'm talking about, who did a podcast before. He's just got that thing about him, Hamish. It's
I just love his attitude.
Oh, you could tell he's like...
Well, like he wants to win.
Hamish always wants to win. Oh, he doesn't do something unless he's like can win it.
No, he's won it till he's lost it.
Aye.
That's it.
And so he was like, you could tell he just had that bit between his teeth. Like, he'll be back. He'll be there next year.
Okay,
He'll be back, and he's learned his mistakes. He's good because he learns. He's like learning.
He's
mistakes,
infectious,
coming
though.
back.
He's very infectious.
Oh, he's good.
Aye.
He'll be good for the trialing thing, like because he's
infectious.
Come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
All or nothing.
Absolutely. I haven't seen him shearing. Knows that's what it's like. But Scottish, who's it's terrible. Who's the winner of the national this year?
It was Eleanor Nielsen.
Eleanor Nielsen.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Eleanor. We should get Eleanor in actually, see how she.
yeah.
What was it? Her story? Is she a shepherd or a? Do you know her? Not very well.
I know her. I know her to speak to her, but I don't actually. She's Michael Gallagher's partner.
Right. Okay. Is there actually any money in trialing sheepdogs?
You struggle to. I suppose the top boys will be getting their fuel money back.
Is the money in the breeding? If your dog's winning,
Yeah.
it's worth a lot to
Yeah.
sell.
Maybe that'd be quite interesting. Do a bit of chat about what sheepdogs are worth, because I bet people will be surprised.
Yeah. Well, there's a good
Like,
question.
what would like a top sheepdog be worth?
Oh, some of the dogs are making serious money. I mean, that program we done, the Farmers Country Showdown, there was another couple on. They had paid 20,000 for a sheepdog.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that'll just keep growing with like as more people get into it, and
Aye.
you have a lot of these guys like Norwegians and stuff who.
Well, you've got
quite wealthy.
the world trial now is a big thing.
Yeah, where's that been held? Did we
well,
host that? No, it was in Ireland.
The last year was in Ireland.
Ireland,
They're actually getting. They've put out for tenders for it for the next time.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe a couple of tenders. Hopefully, it's coming to Scotland. I'm not saying any more than that.
Right. Okay.
But
You've said too much already.
It might be and it might not be.
Okay.
Depends who all comes in for it.
Yep. So why don't you just buy a good dog to make it national? Too dear, or you just don't like that way of doing
It doesn't work that way.
it? Right. Okay.
It doesn't. It's
So
like
folk can't just buy their way to
it's
the
like
top.
buying it. It's like buying a deer top. Doesn't work that way.
No. Yeah.
You have to knit.
So so you can't just buy your way to the top.
No.
No.
There's a lot of people who try to buy their way to the top with the dogs, but quite often it's the guys that are there year in, year out. These are the guys that's always there. And it doesn't matter there's well, I always used to say there was some days Dad who could have had a cat and he'd have been in the prize list.
All right, okay.
Because if as long as he could put the cat round the course, he would have been.
Yeah.
Some folk could just.
I just that good at handling them.
Well, it seemed to be that way.
Yeah.
Ken, you would think. I've seen Dad go into the national and he'd say, "Oh, I never was worse yoked." They're basing him in the team. Ken, both dogs would be in the team.
Yeah.
Maybe base them through to the final.
Mm-hmm. And what's judging like at these sheepdog trials? Is it quite accurate? Like, is it like?
Yeah, like how is it judged?
Oh, there's a multi-stage, isn't it? You get judged for your
different sections.
Your
Right,
Go
okay.
different sections.
outrun, your lift, your drive,
Yeah.
your gates, your shed, your pen. That's maybe it, is it? I might miss something, but yeah. So there's all different sections. It'll be like, what is it like?
20 points for the outrun.
Outrun, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then you have 10 for your lift.
What is that?
Your outrun's your gather.
Right, okay.
And then the lift's how controlled you are at starting the sheep off.
Right, okay.
The fetch is the straight line. Well, it's not always a straight line, but your fetch is how you bring them to the handler.
Okay. And you're aiming to do it in a straight line?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be a straight line.
Right, okay.
There could be an offset. There could be a post that you hate come down and go round,
Okay.
and then come down to the handler. But it's all about straight lines and tight turns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And keeping the sheep moving
And you've got to keep the thing flowing. And I actually think we're quite lucky in Scotland. We've got a lot of good handlers coming that's there. Fellas in their 30s and that's strong.
Not as good as the Welsh though.
They're coming, don't worry.
All right, okay. Our glory days are coming back. Well, I think we used to be the top, did we not? We used to be the top, but
We were, Scotland had the international champion last year.
so we did. That's right. Fraser won it. Was it
Fraser
Fraser?
Shannon,
Fraser Shannon won it. Yeah, okay, okay. I take it back. This year I'm talking about. This year. The Welsh are good. They've got the Sheeran, they've got the Dugs.
They're strong,
they're
they're
very
strong,
able.
yeah.
Yeah.
Most foragers don't supply sheep and cattle with enough cobalt, copper, iodine and selenium, critical to digestion, immunity, reproduction and growth. When it comes to supplementation, there's a danger of under or oversupply. But when bolusing with Animax Tracesure, you can be sure every animal has enough for up to 6 months in one single application. Animax, giving what it takes.
So yeah, I think the key thing that's really interesting obviously is the fact that you've taken this, you've been a shepherd, as I said, you've built this big business. Why haven't you bought a farm yet?
Well, we've looked at it 2 or 3 times. I think I'm maybe got a wee bit complacent. I'm 60 next year. And do you really want... I'm quite content. I don't want to go back to the start. I'm quite content.
The stress of making a mortgage and...
Yeah, I
I
think
get that.
it's... and things are... It's very difficult, as you know yourself.
Aye, to borrow.
Aye,
Oh, yeah.
very difficult. And it's the borrowing's not so bad, it's the paying it back.
Absolutely.
You know, it's no, we're quite Helen and I is quite content. Quite often, stressful days, Helen will say, "Can we not just sell up?"
Yeah, you look at that money that's sitting in assets in terms of sheep and equipment,
Machinery
and everything
and
else.
stuff, and it's
And what about your boys, Billy? What are they doing?
well, John, oldest son, John, he's in Locha. He's in the
Right, okay.
tenanted farm. He's right into his cows.
Okay.
John was never really interested, hence we're changing for the Blackie to the Cheviot. John was never really interested in the Blackies,
Right, okay.
but he's built up the cows. The cows are a good stock of cows, which is all outside. Cows, the only thing that comes in is the calves.
Right, okay.
We
So what kind of breed's that?
Galloway Cross Solaire cows.
Right.
I think I was just in a wee look this morning, actually. I think there's 80 of them at the bull last time. Right. We bought 2 Galloway heifers maybe about 13, 14 years ago for Black Craig,
Right.
and we've built them up to 80.
Wow.
It's a good asset right there. Yeah.
It's we never sold a heifer calf for years. Everyone get kept. And we've got to the point now where we're getting very picky. John wants all the
Okay.
cows to be black.
Okay,
Right.
So unless they're black, they're not kept now.
they're up the road. Yeah.
But no, they're good. And that's John's big day. He sells his calves on the one day at Castle Douglas.
Right.
And that's John's big day. He enjoys that. No, they're and the fact that they're out in the hill, we've had to cut back the ewes.
Aye, because the cattle are taking more.
Yes,
But yeah, wintering a cow outside's the definitely way to do it. If you can, you know, if you've got a dry enough for a good bit of hill, like it's a great
a
way
good
to do
dry
it.
hill.
Stick a bail out to them every couple of days or every day or two.
We've nearly got the cows hefted in the hills. I think there's 20 kind of runs in each hill.
Really?
Aye, they're just used to it. And what about Wally? Your other son?
Wally,
A John and a William,
Wally and John, both get married in the same year,
right?
and
Yeah, one of you've not been able to buy a farm yet.
and Wally actually he left and went. He took over the looking after the sheep for his wife Margaret's dad.
Yep, down at Sangha.
Yeah, at Sanka.
Bunfoot. Bunfoot, that's right. Yeah.
Bunfoot. So Wally's kind of runs the sheep enterprise at Bunfoot. So he's kept busy down there.
Yep. That's a big outfit there, is it not?
It is a big outfit, yeah.
Aye. And so, for the boys' point of view, obviously, Wally's partly invested in there, I suppose, because he's married to the farmer's wife as such. So there's obviously a big future there. But for John, is in the tented farming, that are any of them looking to buy a farm or push things on?
No, John's into. John's more into. He enjoys his, as I said, he's right into his coos. But John's more into property. He's more into. John
puts his money into that.
He buys up flats and does them up and rents them out, and
does he?
Then sells them on and starts again.
Aye. There's a very good story. But can we tell the good story about John and the football coupon? I think everybody knows the story, but this is unbelievable. Do you know this story?
Yeah.
Aye. Do you tell us the story about John and the football coupon?
John and the football coupon. Boxing night it was at Christmas, and we were.
What year is this? This must be 7 years ago now, 8 years ago.
I was here to get married.
Right, okay.
Just before it was before they get married, and the comical thing was John and Aaron was doing their own wedding and doing their thing, which was fantastic. And Aaron was busy making stuff. She made all the wee things for the table, and it was fantastic. It was, and John was ran about. They were ran about in a beat up old car. More smoke coming out the back of it than that. But this wedding was, they were doing it their way, and they wanted their friends, and everyone was spot on, but things would be tight. And so the wedding was in the spring, I think, and then in May. We're sitting in the house at Lochar on Boxing night, and I remember Aaron was lying on the couch. She was half sleeping over at the other side. And John was sitting in the chair with a laptop. And Helen and I was watching the telly. And all of a sudden, John banged up out the chair and disappeared through the house with the laptop. Not a word, just stone-faced. And he was away a wee while. And he landed back through, and he come through, and he stood in front of the stove, the wood burner stove. And the tears started running down his face. I'll never forget it. He says, "I've got something to tell you." And we all looked at Erin on the couch. And she says, "No, it's no me. It's no me, it's not doing me." And she's going, "John, what is it?" He says, "I've just won on the, I think it was Betfred. Is it Betfred or something?"
Oh, I think that's one, or Bet365 or Betfair
Something
or
like that.
something. Aye.
He says, "I'm the biggest winner in the UK of a £1 accumulator." And we are right.
Aye.
But then the greeting, you're like, serious?
He's serious here. He is serious here. And he went and he brought the computer through. He had 2 games left. He could get offered cash out. He could cash out as it stood. He had 2 games left. And he says, I've cashed it. We'll not mention the figure. But if he'd...
But we can say it was 6 figures. Was it 6 figures?
It was 6 figures.
Aye.
But if...
From a £1 bet.
A £1 bet. And if he had kept in and they 2 had come in, it was 1.1 million.
Oh my goodness.
But he cashed it with 2 to go and the 2 didn't come in.
Aye, I mind him telling me
Perfect.
that. Aye. Because was his panic know that his laptop ran out of battery?
Aye, that's why he vanished out.
That's why he
was
rushed.
running out of battery. He was wanting to cash out and he had no battery.
He went to...
Oh my goodness, imagine they had
he just
a
gets-
charger or something.
Billy plays it down a wee bit, but when John tells the story, it's good because like that's what he flicked up. He just like as you do, check your bet, see how it's going because you put these daft accumulators on as full
And he-
doing. You think nothing of it. It's basically like buying a lottery ticket. And John says he looked at it and seen and obviously if straight away you're like you see however much money it was. And you say straight away, you're like 6 figures, you're like cash out. I don't care what's happening. Give me that now. And he says as he went to do it, the bloody thing switched off.
Aye, and that he had to get through to cash out.
So that's why that'll be
Ran
why
through.
he jumped up in a panic to run through and get the charger to get the bloody
That's
thing back on.
amazing, though.
Can you
That is
imagine that?
amazing.
Then one of them was getting emotional. Can you imagine that feeling waiting for the bloody thing to boot
my
back up,
goodness.
like so you can get your cash out? So like what a story though. Like
I know, it's brilliant.
and I saw an interesting thing actually. Here's a soundbite. An interesting thing on social media the other day. It's like if you gamble, you can win 2,000, 3,000% of your original bet, but you can only lose 100% of your money. So get it on. Do the maths.
You're encouraging it.
You can win 2,000, 3,000%, but you can only lose 100%.
And that's a guarantee.
You can only lose 100%, but you could win 3,000%. Get it on. I like that one. No, gamble safe, folks.
And it did make a big difference to the wedding.
I can
We
imagine.
had canopies.
But I think that's actually a Kickstarter. I didn't know about the property. I think that was a big Kickstarter then. Just he was sensible with it. And
He did.
Yeah,
That was well, no, maybe the first step he did wasn't just the best, but
boys.
BMW.
Aye. It's free money, isn't it?
Yeah.
I fit back out was free money. Aye, good on him. Good on him.
But no,
That's a
no,
great-
he bought. That's where he started. He bought a flat in Dumfries and done it up, and rented it a wee while, and then sold it. And
It's a great story.
Good for
Fifth foot
him.
by coupon, like, because we all dream, like, don't get me wrong, I've not done a coupon since I was bloody early 20s. We used to do them back when you used to actually write it on a bit of paper and Wally Hills or whatever it was. But like you always, and it was better actually. I know you obviously can do them online. I have done them online, back in the past. But the paper ones were good because you just score away at teams and the idea. Now it shows you what your odds are as you go. Back then you'd score 10, 15 teams, think nothing of it, and you put your pound on it, come back saying you're getting 1.2 million, and you just in your head for a second, you think, why could that not come in? I've picked, I've not done any of that.
see,
You
that's
think-
probably what I would have done.
You think you could do it?
Yeah.
I would be the opposite of your John. I'm more. I never had it in the first place. I'll just chance it.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No
Would
chance.
you?
I would. Aye.
Would you?
That's my attitude. Aye.
Oh, I don't
You
think
would
that.
I would
get 6
have
figures sitting in the chance of what
Probably. That's me. Aye.
Some man. What would you do?
I say I would cash out, but now hearing that, I think a wee part of me would have belief that I would win the whole thing.
I'd cash it. I'd absolutely cash it because I'd rather cash it. Oh no, both of them would crush you.
I know.
I was going to say if you didn't cash it and you lost it, you'd be crushed. But if you do cash it and both those teams win, you're
But you
crushed
never
as
had
well.
it. You never had it.
You never had
But
it.
you did because 100 grand's there, or however much is there. Like you do have it. It's literally there.
You would be
know?
more crushed if you lost the 100.
The 100 then if you didn't win the 900
Yeah,
more to
I
the
do.
thing. No, I think take the 100. I take the 100. Let us know in the comments what you would do.
Yeah.
Would you take the cash out? I absolutely would. Speaking of, just going on random things, we need to do the quiz. We do the quiz here as well.
Oh, yeah.
But see, speaking on random things, I saw another really interesting thing. This is a good one as well. I was going to ask you for a Friday chat, but I'll ask Billy because he'll know he'll know better. You'll remember the Mike Tyson era. Aye. So the conundrum is this: if you could get £1 million, so Mike Tyson at 10 years old, okay. If you fight him at 10 years old, you get £1 million. If you fight him at 11, you get 2 million. At 12, 3 million. 13, 4 million. Every year you put on, you get another £1 million, but you have to beat him.
What age are you when you're fighting him?
Now. Right now.
You wouldn't punch a 10-year-old.
For £1 million? Absolutely would.
No,
I'd
you
probably
would not. Cammy, you're going to get cancelled.
£1 million? £1 million?
Not a chance.
No, but it's he's got gloves on too. It's not like I'm jumping it. It's not like some guy's going to get £1 million. Although to be fair, £1 million.
Where's this going?
I could give the Wayne $100,000 surely, and that's another question. That you've opened up another conundrum here. This is a proper boxing match,
right?
Like,
Okay, we're in
Mike,
a ring.
Mike Tyson was boxing for he could walk, right?
Right. Okay.
So this is a proper boxing match. What age would you fight him at? I thought it was a great question. What age?
And
would
you
fight him
have
at?
to win
Well, you don't have to, but you don't get any money if
to
you
win.
lose.
Yeah. Okay.
What age would you fight him at?
That's a good question.
Isn't it? I thought it was great because
But you hate to beat him.
Oh, you have to. Oh, you don't get paid if you don't beat him. Aye. What age would you fight him at? That's one for the comments
so what
as
could
well.
it go up to? What's the max? What age is he? What age is he now?
50, but you wouldn't. It has to go up to just his prime, or else
Like, so
it's
say
daft.
like what?
So
30.
30, let's say.
So you could earn. So say it's basically 30 million.
Or 20. You can make 20 million if you pushed it. Yeah.
I'm sitting working out what age he would be when I could beat him.
Yeah. Aye, exactly. Oh, you need to. I disregard what you're thinking of. You're
I'd
never
probably
beat him.
go
Well,
10.
I genuinely think that 10's a shout.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think 10 is a shout. And there's a video of Mike Tyson at 16 or 15, I think it is, and it's like, even at 10.
You either go pre-pubescent or it doesn't matter. I would say there's a limit to how much he will have improved after puberty.
Right. Listen, I think it's one of those questions. I think genuinely you only have till 17.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, forget about everything after 17. You're getting destroyed. Like, and even at 17, I think
Mike Tyson would destroy you at 15.
I think so too. I think I would take the
Maybe
million.
even less.
I think I would take the £1 million. That's what I thought was so interesting about it. It's like, I don't think I'd even chance going to 11. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely, it was such a good question because it's like, if you look at Mike Tyson back when he was young, man, you're in trouble. I can't fly a punch to save myself.
Bad
Good
fighter.
one. There's one for the comments.
Yeah.
So what age are you taking, Billy? What was your final answer?
I'll go 10.
Just take the £1 million.
I'll take the £1 million.
It might do you at 10 anyway, right enough.
I could.
You're 60 now, mine.
Nearly
Like
60.
me and my bad hernia and stuff like that. What an absolute redneck that would be, the big exhibition fight, Sky Sports TV getting battered for a 10-year-old.
I think I'm in with the best shout here in this table.
To win it? Right now, probably you would be. Do you think you could take it at 10?
What are you basing that on?
I know. The cheek, man.
No. She came out with great reasons there about what age you should be.
Aye. What's wrong with 60?
Pre-puberty and all the rest of it. And what are you basing yours on?
It's just the same age as your dad.
I'm just very strong.
Aye, okay, sorry. Of course, that's what you meant. Yeah. Stronger than Mike Tyson. Right, heard it all out. Anyway, we'll have a quiz to do. Billy, anything else you want to discuss with us or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
No hidden agendas or anything you want to push on us? No. You'll have no worries about another good thing about never buying a farm. You've no worries about this inheritance tax thing that's coming out.
No.
See a big announcement this morning about it that Keir Starmer says people that make money off their assets aren't what he classes as working folk. So I think that's him teeing up to like hammer capital gains and inheritance tax.
Okay.
Could be bad.
Let's get Margot on the phone.
Margot sort it.
Margot sorts.
Okay, we're doing my timing.
Yes.
Now for the quiz section of our show. Billy's getting thrown under the bus here. I didn't tell him about this before he came down, although he listens to every podcast, so he should know. We have 2 minutes on the clock. Those watching at home, it'll be on the screen. If you're listening, just imagine 2 minutes in your head as we rattle through it. Try and play along, see how you would do. Let us know in the comments if you would beat Billy. Time starts now.
The rivers Clyde, Dee, Liffey and Mersey all flow into which sea?
The Atlantic.
Irish. Katrina and the Waves were the last UK winners of which song competition?
Eurovision.
Yes! Which British airline founded in Jersey ceased operations in 2020?
No idea.
Flybe. AJ is the nickname of which British boxer? Come on, Bill.
Joshua.
Yes. The tyrannical Miss Agatha Trunchbull is a teacher in which Roald Dahl novel?
No idea.
Matilda. Which TV game show presenter is known for the phrase, "The chase is on"?
Bradley Walsh.
Yes. Which word is spelled out in 55-foot high letters on the side of Mount Lee in California?
Hollywood.
Yes. Duke, Marquis, Conde and Visconde are noble titles in which European country?
No idea.
Spain. Stadia is the plural of which word where sports fixtures are played?
Stadium.
Yes. The Bible story of Noah's Ark is found in the book of Genesis. In which testament of the Holy Bible would you find the book of Genesis? Which testament?
Don't know.
50-50.
Don't know.
Old. The Will Ferrell
Old
film.
Testament.
Will Ferrell.
That's right. I would overthink that.
The Will Ferrell film Holmes and Watson is a parody of classic mysteries featuring which fictional detective? The Will Ferrell film Holmes and Watson.
Oh,
You can
totally
pass.
Fictional detective.
Pass.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock. I was going.
Who played children's author Beatrix Potter in the 2006 biopic Miss Potter?
No idea.
Renée Zellweger. Je suis désolé means I am sorry in which language?
Say that again.
Je suis désolé.
French.
Yes. Which member of the Beatles was raised by his Aunt Mimi at 251 Menlove Avenue in Liverpool?
John Lennon.
Yes.
That time. Shoot. 7.
7. Joy,
Solid. I think it
Billy.
was 7. Good effort there.
Good effort.
I thought they were quite good. They were quite, like, I quite enjoyed those questions. I felt I could have.
Oh, that Old Testament. How did I not get that?
I know.
Totally blank. I was overthinking
How
it.
funny. She was like, "You would just." I was going to pull that one up if you had got it, because I'm like, Iona, for God's sake, you can't
I
just
knew
do
he'd
that.
kick himself though.
I
Because
know.
it was just
There's
one.
another one actually.
By the way, I'm going to get absolutely slagged for my French pronunciation.
Oh, that's the one. No, but
No,
no,
the Spanish. It was the Spanish.
What did
Oh,
you say? Visconti or
stop.
something? I wanted to. Visconde. Maybe it is. Visconde. I couldn't do that either.
I don't know.
I
It
thought there
doesn't
was
sound
an-
very Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, the Sherlock Holmes one. That's the one.
Oh,
Bloody Holmes and Watson, which fictional detective? Like, aye, that was the one I was like, aye, you kick yourself for that one. But yeah, no, I don't think there's any. I've never got Flyby. I thought Atlantic.
so I got a 7, did you say?
7. Good score. Steady. Well, that means we can drop Iona down one. I would have said Atlantic too, which is daft because obviously it's the Irish Sea. I thought Atlantic won that one. Yeah. There we go. Just sweet. You know, I thought your French was brilliant.
I thought my French was good, my Spanish wasn't.
Did
No.
you say? Did you actually say sea? Which sea does it?
Did I say what? See?
What would you think
the
she
rivers.
said?
No, because the Atlantic's an ocean, isn't it?
Oh, good point. That's a good
Did you
point.
say
so the
sea?
clues, yeah.
What,
Nah, she did say sea. Aye, it does say sea.
That's
Aye.
fine. I know.
Aye, that's
no, I
your
was
good
correcting
point,
myself.
yeah.
I wasn't correcting her. I was correcting myself.
I know,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
obvious.
that was- it
Atlantic's
was
an
in the-
ocean, not a sea.
It was the same
Good
as the
one.
thing in Sunday. Can the instructor woman, the tester, says to me at the dipping course,
Yeah.
she says, "Now, you're overthinking the questions. Just give me the first
The
answer.
obvious
that comes
answer.
Yeah.
Aye.
comes into your head."
That's a good wee click there. But anyway, 7 out of 10. 7 right in 2 minutes. Gets you top of the leaderboard. We might have a grand final if things go well. I quite enjoy a wee quiz.
I like
Do you ever
a
listen?
quiz.
Is it Jeremy Vine? I can't get that right. No, Jeremy Vine. Who's the guy that did Taskmaster? No, Taskmaster. Quiz. Popmaster. I don't want to say it because I said he was dead one time. And he's not. It's Radio 2. It's Ken Bruce, is it not?
Oh no, not down this rabbit hole
Stay away
again.
from that. Anyway,
No.
I like a quiz. All right, I like a
We
quiz.
like a quiz.
Anyway, listen, well done, Billy. Thanks for the chat there. Quite life stories. We say a bit of break of luck and some hard graft.
That's it.
That's all you need, eh?
And good friends.
And good friends. But
Good
again,
friends and neighbours.
networking. It all comes together. Like, so good on you. There's still time to get that farm yet. You only got a 7-year mortgage now, right enough. But the payments will be colossal, but we'll get there.
I've actually just bought a house.
Oh, have you? Oh, so you are ready to retire then?
And, well, mum's went into it now, so
Right.
yeah, that's the next step. We've got our house bought, so
Whereabouts is that? Is that near where you are just now?
it's at Mini Shant.
Right.
Is that the first house you've ever owned?
Yep,
Is that right?
yep.
60, that you just coming up 60 and
Yeah.
you buy your first house?
Helen keeps telling me we're about 25 years too late to doing it.
Aye,
I had far more important things to do. I had tips to buy. So.
Oh,
exactly. Hey, my mother and father never owned their own house. Like, and to be fair, my dad did say, you know, that was the mistake. Kenny always said to us, go and get a job, get your own house, and it's yours. You know, that's one thing.
you did do that.
Yeah, I did. I went and got another job and got a house and all that as well. But that was one thing. It's like, at least it's yours, and you pay it off. Because what happens when you get to retirement age and you've not got a house and you're in a tight house that comes with the job,
Exactly.
Yeah.
then you've got to rely on the council putting you up in some dive somewhere in some housing scheme when you've spent your whole life in a nice house. And a lot of shepherds can relate to that. You've spent your whole life in a nice house in the country.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're retired. You end up in a scheme somewhere in a 1-bed, 2-bed flat. You never know where they put you, like. So that was always his big thing. Lucky for him, he died before I had to worry about that. But on that note, thanks very much, Billy. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
And we're back. As always, thanks to Crystalyx and Tracesure for supporting this podcast. It really is them that keeps the whole thing running. Iona,
Yes.
what's happening the week ahead? Are we getting a Friday chat out this week?
We
You're
might be
under pressure.
struggling.
Tell
I'm
us what
under
you're-
pressure.
tell us what
Cammy.
you're under
I am
pressure
under
about.
pressure.
Tell us
if
what you're
truth
under
be
pressure.
told. I'm trying to post 15,000 parcels.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are, for those of you that don't know, we sort of do all the Hoof GP's merch as well as our own. And Graham has been in here the last 2 days. I mean, he literally left here with a sling on yesterday because his arm
poor
just
arm.
totally gave up on him. Signing, I think, got just shy of about 12,000 done, and he's coming tomorrow to do the next 3,000. And then that'll be like the first 15,000 pre-sale
Go on.
done. He did 15,000 sales in like
Crazy.
yeah. That would have made him, I believe, now you guys can call me out on this if I'm wrong, but I believe that would have put him near the very top of the Sunday Times bestsellers list if you do 15,000 a week.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he just self-published. We're posting
I
out
think
here.
it's going to be a film.
His life?
Yeah. I think the book's going to be made into a film.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Think it's that good?
I just thank goodness for DVDs aren't a thing anymore.
I think it'd make a better TV series than a film.
Oh yeah, I could see it's a TV series.
Because there's a few
as well.
seasons in it. You know, it changes so
True,
drastically.
actually. Yeah, TV series.
There's a few seasons in it. So Netflix, I know you're listening. Have a read, see if you can get a script out of it.
So yeah, doing that and then getting organised for Agri Expo on Friday.
Yes, we'll be at the Agri Expo at Carlisle Market on Friday. Myself, Iona, Tina will be there with our merch stand. Please do come and see us. Tom Pemberton's going to be there as well. Real big draw. I'm looking forward to it. It's actually a really good event. Good
Is
fun.
it? I've never been.
Yeah, it's good. Tapari will be there as well. Crystalyx will be there. Yeah, there's loads of stalls, loads of great stock, loads of great folk. And it's handy for us. It's only 2 hours down the road
Yeah,
at Carlisle.
perfect.
So we'll be there for that. Of course, our Christmas merch is really kicking off now. Like, things are getting busier. Don't leave it till last minute, but we do have some fantastic things coming in later this week, I think. They're going to be online.
Next week for the new stuff.
Okay, so next week. So you're hearing this on Tuesday. Next week we'll have new sheep game stuff. I've been wearing this for about 6 days solid, so there might be a few tea stains in it, but we've got new rugby shirts, Fed by Farmers rugby shirts as well. Those of you that are just listening in audio, I'm spinning around and showing off my very middle class, old school, like cotton traders style almost rugby shirt.
I like it.
It's quite nice actually.
Why is it called a rugby shirt when you wouldn't wear that playing rugby?
But they used to wear this playing rugby.
Long sleeved?
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah, well, rugby's usually played in the winter and it's cold and miserable and...
Why is that? Why is it normally played in the winter?
that is a good question. But I mean, my preference would be the ground's nice and soft. That's why I like
In the winter?
Yeah.
I feel it's hard with the frost.
Oh, frosty days. How many frosty days do we get here?
Hunters.
No, we don't. Oh, Muirkirk maybe, but not. We probably had 5 frosty days last winter.
Really?
And you know that in Kilmarnock. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hardly any frosty days last
No, I
winter.
remember I was defrosting my car lots in the morning. Maybe you just don't get up early enough.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. I'm sure. Or maybe it's just I'm not in the house long enough for the frost to even build up. You know, the residual heat from the engine
That's what it is.
keeps it going.
Yeah.
No, I used to prefer. Yeah, I like playing. And the other thing I think it's to do with like people going their holidays in the summer. You know, like amateur level sport particularly and professional. People are away on holidays a lot more in the summer, so it affects attendances and availability of players, etc. So I think that's another factor.
I don't.
Ashley, why do we play? Have you googled it? Yes, thanks. Just why are you letting us waffle then?
It's entertaining for Ashley when she's
She's
sitting
just
knowing.
I just sit
she
there
just
like
knows like.
fannies.
It required less well-tended pitches, so over the winter the grass doesn't grow.
Ah, makes sense.
Of course.
So it's cheaper for clubs. So Ashley, if you can't hear this, she's saying that the reason that I think this is mainly amateur, but I suppose all sports started amateur. That's where traditions all come from. And the reason was that if you do it in the winter, you cut it in the autumn, and then that's you for the winter. It stays much the same. But if you're trying to play all summer, you need to pay someone to cut the grass every week, twice a week potentially.
Is football all year?
No, unless the World
Is
Cup's
that winter
on.
as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well, winter. Well, autumn, spring, autumn, winter, spring, and it stops for
Stops for the summer.
a summer break. Yeah.
God, you imagine they've been on-stop cutting it in the summer.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never known. It's amazing what you learn in this podcast.
It is.
I love sport and football and all that stuff and rugby, and I've never known that to be the reason. And that's what it says. Where's that? Who's that? What's the reference? Could you please give us your reference? some guy called Jim on Facebook. There we go.
Thank you, Jim.
It's the Guardian.
Oh, the Guardian.
Background.
Respectable.
Respectable. Yeah, okay. That was interesting. So there we go. Thanks for asking the difficult questions, Iona.
No problem.
And thanks for
That's
letting
what
me
I'm here for.
Ashley, thanks for letting me waffle my nonsense version of it. I still stand by that.
Got people going on their holidays.
Yeah, but I think that is a factor.
I don't.
Well, you imagine trying to run a rugby team, like an amateur rugby team, and everybody's away with the wains for, all summer.
Yeah, maybe amateur. Yeah.
Well, like most normal people go on a holiday in that 6-week school holiday period. So if you're trying to pull together a rugby team and that,
Nightmare.
everybody's away.
Yeah.
I stand by it.
Okay.
And the grass cutting. Anyway, anything else? So we've got that Agri Expo thing. Book's going out, merch. I don't think we've anything else really to talk about, have we, this week?
No.
I did do the agricultural awards.
Oh yeah. Oh, we should do a Friday catch.
We'll do a Friday
Right.
catch up. We'll talk about the agricultural awards. Yeah, save it. We've talked enough.
Okay.
Right, guys. Thanks for listening. Oh, Billy got a 7 as well, by the way. Let me just I'll just put Billy up here. We didn't do it while he was here, but he's watching it then now. That puts him just above Iona.
No, it does not. Is it?
So that
Cammy, don't put me down one.
No, alphabetical. Are you thinking W for Welsh?
Yes.
No, I don't think it works like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll need to Google that one. But anyway, Iona's still up there. So yeah, Billy moves into 3rd place. How should it be? Should it be whoever gets it first stays above?
Yeah.
How do we decide that, actually?
Yeah, just whoever's up there first. I don't think you should demote the person who went before.
Right, okay. Even though Billy's questions were harder. Right, okay, there we go. Iona's still in 3rd. Billy in
Somebody actually commented saying that they thought your questions were a lot easier than
I think
mine.
they were easier. Yeah, I think they were easier. Definitely. I thought I had really good questions, but then I suppose you would if you get some right. That said, we did do a couple after that, and I got like 10 and 11, so it was quite...
He did.
Lies. Iona got an 8. Iona got an 8 as well. So, right, that's it for this one. See you on Friday.
I've been
waiting for I thought it was a Phil Collins advert then. Dun, 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 dun. Remember the gorilla?
Yeah. I can hear it calling
in the air tonight.
That was one of my questions.
So long. Aye, that advert?
Yeah,
So it was. That
that's
was
weird.
that was a
That
great.
was
They don't
fun.
do good adverts anymore.
No, they don't. But when was the last time you watched an advert?
Okay, fair. But I don't think they do adverts the same, don't they? No. Remember the
not.
Iron Brew adverts? My granny was a fanny. Her mammy was a fanny. We came for a long line of fannies. Remember that one?
No.
My mum's a fanny. Granny was a fanny. She'll be joining a long line of fannies.
I remember the one that used to be, even though I used to be a man.
No.
If anyone in England, I think they would have Iron Brew adverts in England, would they?
Aye. Well, I don't know.
Would they?
Surely it needs to advertise more because not more people drink it.
Wait a second, folks. Lizzie's actually outside this door just now. Hang on. Lizzie, did they have Iron Brew adverts in England? No. She says, what's Iron Brew?
Did you?
No, she
No.
knows that. No. So no Iron Brew adverts. Anyway, they used to have this really good one. It's very inappropriate. But they were singing about why they love Iron Brew at the piano. Remember this one? And it ends with the mum going, even though I used to be a man, even though and I especially love Iron Brew, even though I used to be a man. And then the dad's like, looking.
And I especially love Iron Brew, even though I used to be a man. Even though I used to be a man.
You not seen that one?
No.
That's good. You not seen that?
No.
We'll play a little clip of that, Ashley, will we? Slot a little clip into that. For
Okay.
Put the tune for people listening to the audio, play that tune. Anyway, let's save this nonsense for Friday.
Okay.
I've been Cammy,
I've been Iona.
and we are all
Fed by farmers.